day one, Donald Trump, of course, is going to instill confidence in the oil industry, or honestly in the energy industry, just in general, but especially the oil industry. And I actually had the opportunity to meet Trump's energy secretary. I don't think he's going to come back for his second presidency, but I did have the opportunity to meet with Trump's energy secretary a little less than a year ago. And let me just tell you, that guy knew what was up. He understood the economy. He understood the relationship between consumers and the oil industry. And so if Donald Trump will surround himself with the same kind of people, which I have no doubt that he will, he's going to do fantastic. What's most important for cheap energy, specifically gas, which is what we're interested in, as well as jet fuel, because that affects travel. Of course, diesel is going to affect the price of shipping things. So all of it is tied to the economy. But what's most important for cheap energy, something that Biden and the Democrats do not understand at all, is not necessarily fracking. It's not necessarily even the Keystone pipeline. All those are important. But at the end of the day, what it is instilling confidence in the industry that the investors in that industry are actually going to see a return on their investment. And this is something that the Biden administration cannot do. And the reason why is because they're bought out by environmentalists that do not want the oil industry to move forward. And so what's happening is the Biden administration is trying to pander to both sides, and they can't do it, especially when they're way more bought into the environmental side. Of course, Republicans are more bought into the oil industry. I'm not blind to that fact. But what I'm saying is that for the American consumer at this point, lower gas is better than solar panels. We've seen it in California. The grid cannot take it as of now. And so what I expect Trump to do, of course, is to release new fracking permits on day one. I hope he begins to open the Keystone pipeline so that oil can travel better in the United States and through Canada. But again, the most important thing, and I think what he will do, perhaps before he's even sworn in, is start meeting with oil executives and just making it very clear to them that their investment is going to be worth it. And then he's going to codify something into law to make sure it is. And I think that that's going to have huge consequences in the oil industry. And I think we're going to see gas plummet almost immediately when Trump enters the presidency, if Trump enters the presidency. Of course, the second thing is that he's going to call for a state of emergency at the border. Day one, of course, I think with that, he's going to send troops. He's going to start building a wall. I believe he'll probably work with Texas and California and Arizona in order to stimulate jobs there. So I think in many cases, those states are going to be very happy for that, just for the economic side of it. Obviously, having safety of immigrants and terrorists coming through the border, that's a huge plus for them as well, with that not happening anymore. But I think he tried to do this in his first time as presidency. I think because of how dire it is now, it's going to be very easy to justify a state of emergency. And obviously, in order to actually declare war, Congress has to do that within 180 days of when the president sends troops somewhere. But I don't know if he'll declare war on the Mexican cartels. I suspect that he can get away with sending troops there without doing so. And I believe that with the way that the Supreme Court is, I have a really hard time believing that the judiciary is going to be overturning something like this, even if it gets paused through maybe a circuit court for a time. Guys, as we come to the new year comes, we do not want to go into the new year with a cluttered house, with all the Christmas decorations all over. You might even have fall or Halloween decorations out. That's why I've partnered with Smart Labels. Smart Labels is a better way to organize. Essentially what it is you can take the QR codes that they send you, which is attached to their app that you can download. And with that, you can slap a QR code on those bins and using the app, have it all organized so that you can search and find which item is in which bin, where that bin is, and it's all cataloged in that app for you. They make it incredibly easy. That's why I've partnered with them. I love Smart Labels. I love that they support me as well. So go support awesome companies and get organized at the same time as we head into the new year. Again, you can check them out at Amazon.com or Walmart as well. I do want to talk about our sponsor, Gulag America. As you can see, I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. Gulag America is a patriotic clothing brand. They even make Josh Carr Show merch. If you're interested in purchasing it, if you go to their website at gulagamerica.com, go to their collections tab, and down to the affiliate section, you'll see Josh Carr Show merch. So go check them out. Again, if you use my code JoshCarr10, you will get 10% off at Gulag America. Go check out all their other stuff too. It is fantastic. I think ultimately the Supreme Court is going to be able to make sure that happens. I just don't see there being a constitutional question as to whether the president can actually shut down and kind of protect the borders of their own country. And again, the last thing that Trump is likely to do, kind of just finishing up the show today, guys, is that he's going to start negotiations to ensure his tax law is renewed. If you guys didn't know, Trump signed that historic tax cut into law, I think in 2016 or 2017, or excuse me, it would be 2017 when he was sworn into office. That has to be renewed in 2025. And I think that's going to be one of his top priorities. And I have a hard time believing that he won't get it signed again. I think he totally will. I think every Republican will be on board. I think most moderate Democrats are going to be on board. I think he'll still focus on negotiations day one with that to make sure it happens, because that's pretty much one of the worst things that can happen to a Republican in office is if taxes go up, because that's what Republicans are good for historically. Obviously, they're moving into more social issues, which is fantastic. But historically, they got to keep taxes low. If they don't do that, they get voted out. And so I have a hard time believing Trump isn't going to make that a priority on day one, and I give him pretty good odds to do that. Again, at the end of the day, those are the big things he's going to focus on. I'm sure there will be other ones, but I think those are the ones that will affect Americans the most. That's why I focus on them today. Hopefully, a Republican beats Joe Biden, and that can be a reality. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching the show today. As always, if you got a little bit of entertainment or value, please consider subscribing down below and comment what you think about Donald Trump in the presidency and what he'll do on day one. See you next time.